Just having a look at SAMSON, oil and gas, SSN. First thing to note on the chart is the MAs. We had a nice big golden cross down here, and these are the 30 and 50-day moving average, the blue and yellow. And we've come up here at the moment, and it's quite a precarious spot this here, but I was just sort of looking at this arrow. When these two cross over like this, they usually do come down. So, but there's a few other little reasons why. And if you notice at the moment, just in here, they both seem to be wanting to try and kick up a little bit. The little white dashed line is a standard error band, okay? And as you can see, as it's turned up here, it's starting to turn again, okay? That should bring this green 7-day moving average down to also turn, okay? On the fibs, we've got the overalls over here, okay, from the bottom to the top, and they're throwing a little bit of support in along this line here, okay? We've also got the locals, which I've sort of basically taken from the big run up from the old high, because that was resistance, should now be support. And so basically taken it from this candle here up to the top, and it's throwing a 50% pretty much right along the bottom of the candles here. The thing to have a look at here is what we've had a small double top, okay? And basically rules of double tops, they're a double U, okay? So we've had the double top, now we've had a small double bottom, okay? And they're only small, they're probably about 4 weeks apart or something like that, okay? But usually what happens with double tops, you get this and double bottoms, you get a W shape. So the next thing it should do is turn around and scoot back up to that halfway mark, which is the black arrow there at about 7.1. Whether it gets through that or it comes off again, I wouldn't have a clue. Or it could keep going and make the second target, which would be up here at 7.9, and if it failed to get through that, then it'd be a triple top, and you only got to go and have a look at Telstra's chart to see what happens when you get a triple top. Anyway, so there are a few things to just bear in mind with this chart at the moment, okay? So it seems to look like she wants to turn here. The only problem is I'm going to have a look at the indicators now. Indicators are, just trying to turn up. This is a faster scoff than this one. No, it's not. It's 15, 5 and 3. Little short entries are trying to trigger here on the DEMA. And the DEMA, usually when they do come up, and like it's done here before, and it's gone through the 54, it might just turn around and try and go back up through it again. Okay. The only other thing is volumes. There's just been no volume of late. Very minimal volume in this stock, which is always a low volume sell-off, where the it's never really that flash as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just have a look at the week. Here's the weekly chart, and what we're looking at here is the 200-day moving average here. And you got the 7-day here and 14-day there. Now these two are slightly curving around here. The 200 seems to be the one that is just holding it down at the moment. The Bollingers here on the weekly are quite tight, okay? So that would suggest basically a break either way is what one would be thinking. It's again sitting on this fib line, okay? The thing to look at here, if this little candle here is just like basically a Harmony cross, so one would be thinking a higher open next week or an open to close. This could start to gradually come up. Now whether it's a gradual up, slightly sideways, or a big up, we wouldn't have a clue. I don't know much about the stock myself, perfectly honest. I've traded it and that's about it. But yeah, it's all sort of signalling that it may be forming a little bottom here on the daily and also on the weekly chart. Just whether it's got more sideways to go first or it does a drop down to here is another thing. Okay, but at the moment it seems to be holding its own, right across this line here. And what's that low? The low is 6.2. So you could possibly say 6.2 is probably the low. After forming this cross, I'd expect a higher open next week. And as we saw on the daily chart, it could be turning up. So just have a look at the weekly indicators. At the moment, okay, our stochastics up here turning down. On the weekly, MACD still coming off. Okay, DEMA is still coming off, but it's coming off to the 54. Now it can come down, hit a 54, and then slide back up, or just go through it. RSI's trying to make a move up. So we haven't had any short entries yet. They're trying to trigger here a little bit. So whether there's a few more weeks to wait before this stock sort of decides where it wants to go, I just couldn't tell you at the moment. It could be a case of sideways. It could be a case of slightly up and sideways. If it did break that fib line, though, I'd say it's look out. But at the moment, things are sort of pointing to it's a pretty stable sort of chart. Okay, if we just have a look here, we can see daily charts again. 5-minute chart at the moment looking like it wants to try and buy something. Again, volume's the problem. We have sellers versus buyers over here. The buyers are quite keen to hold the price here, and they seem to think that's fair value, and nobody's panicking at the moment. But it's an interesting little stock at the moment, SSN, for something that was such a bullish stock and had so much turnover. It's just gone so quiet. But I wouldn't really be afraid of that. I think it's just trying to consolidate here at the moment, and as you can see, the indicators are trying to give it a kick up. What it needs is just a damn good injection of volume, is what I'd be tending to think. Okay, but that's about me on it. But I just watch these two here. If it does start to come and drop back down and go through this line here, I'd be very careful. They're the two to watch. Anyway, that's me.